to Akwa Ibom State, where over the years, lack of adequate and effective disaster management has remained a major source of concern across the country. The inadequacy and ineffectiveness of our emergency management system are often thoroughly exposed every time an emergency situation arises in the country, leading to unnecessary loss of lives. In response to the rising rate of natural disasters in the country and beyond, stakeholders converged on Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, to discuss issues of emergency and disaster management with a view to charting a way forward.
The event brought together the Akwa Ibom State government and critical stakeholders in disaster management, including the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and some corporate organizations involved in ventures dealing with natural disasters.
For focused action at state.
Government authorities in Akwa Ibom State believe that proper vigilance and constant reminders to the public on the basics of disaster management is the way to prepare for it.
Considering the spate of disasters that have befallen not only our state and the nation, but also happening at a global scale. And a few instances would suffice to illustrate this. On December 10 last year, our state suffered one of the worst magnitudes of calamity following the collapse of the Reinas Bible Church, an incident which claimed 27 lives.
From the National Emergency Management Agency comes a reassurance that it will continue to improve disaster management strategies.
While many countries across the world are still battling to draw up a plan of action in fulfilling this global commitment, Akwa Ibom has taken the lead in putting our nationally accepted commitment into action.
Other participants say they also remain committed to partnerships with relevant agencies and organizations to ensure effective management of disasters.
We are not able to have this in place to proactively address them. We find out that the outcome are usually negative and severe, and people live with the consequences for a long time. We have experienced that within and without.
Akwa Ibom State has had its fair share of disasters in recent times, the most devastating of which was the December 10, 2016 church building collapse, in which 27 people lost their lives. Participants are hopeful that the discussions here will help fashion out ways to ensure a faster response time when emergencies arise.
And now the police authorities in Ondo State have declared that it will embark on massive surveillance on uncompleted buildings across the state where suspected criminals use as hideouts. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Hilda Ibufura Harrison, made this disclosure while addressing senior police officers at the police officers' mess in Akure. The CP appealed to the good people of the state to continue giving the police information on the identities and activities of hoodlums as they also live amongst the people.
We still appealing to the good people of Ondo State to continuously give us information, because these young men are living amongst us. They come out, ride on motorcycles to perpetrate these heinous crimes. And we do not desire to have this kind of persons moving around us and committing crimes. And we will not stop. It's cutting across the state. There will be massive raids and surveillance on all uncompleted buildings in the state. Like you have known, some of these criminals were arrested at some of the uncompleted buildings here in Akure, where they hide their arms and from where they take off to perpetrate these crimes. So we continuously look out for them, and we are appealing to each and everyone living here in Ondo State to assist us with useful information so that we can get rid of these hoodlums from this very peaceful environment.
The Edo State Commissioner of Police, Haliru Gwando, says his command is ready to scale up its operations through improved collaboration with vigilante groups and hunters, as well as community leaders, in a bid to reduce crime in the state. Mr. Gwando, who said this during a stakeholder security meeting at the Command Officers Mess in Benin City, maintained that the acquisition of the biodata of herdsmen in various communities will help identify those perpetrating evil.
An interactive session at the Edo State Police Command Officers Mess in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Senior police officers, community leaders, vigilante groups, as well as hunters gather for a stakeholders workshop on ways of combating crime in Edo State. The meeting is at the instance of the Edo State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Haliru Gwando, on ways of tackling the state's security challenges. Mr. Gwando states that a useful synergy between law enforcement agents and community members will help flush out criminals in society.
That crime has no tribe, crime has no religion. As far as I'm concerned, as a commissioner of police in Edo State, even those criminals in uniform are my enemies.
The floor is then opened to the audience for their contributions.
The policeman will properly investigate that kidnapper, and that kidnapper will confess as he's a kidnapper or armed robber. At the end of the day, just when you watch highest 6 months, 1 year, you see such kidnapper on the road.
One of the main challenges facing the command in recent times is the threat of herdsmen attacks in the rural communities. The Edo police boss maintains that a data bank of those involved in herding cattle will help fish out the lawbreakers.
For instance, DPO's area commanders to make sure that they have the biodata of all those settling in the area, more especially the nomads. That will give them the information of those who are doing things legitimately and those who are dubious elements.
For the Edo Police Command, information is key to solving crime, and the Commissioner of Police, Haliru Gwando, strongly believes that improving the relationship of the force with the communities will further reduce crime in society.